there is no place for you having mastery around the worst case scenario. Here's my vision. But here I am over here, and all that could go wrong, that could keep me from the vision. Now you notice what part of me is facing the vision. But that's what I'm just demonstrating that we have turned our back completely, and the vision is just left unattended, while we give all of our energy to exactly what we do not want to have happen. And somehow in our little twisted, fatigued mind, we think that that's time well spent. I'm like watching it. I'm watching what I don't want to happen to make sure it don't happen. Just all out of work. All out of work. No awareness of how the law works, how principle unfolds. Because a basic premise here is what you give your attention to, help me out people, expands. So while I'm over here giving keen, undivided attention to what I don't want to have happen, watching it as if I think that my attention to it keeps it from happening, I am in opposition to the universal law which says just by that activity, it's what expands. And guess what happens? I go, see, I told you, I better watch. Because it's getting bigger. It's getting deeper. It's even more threatening than we thought. Not understanding that it's me. We act like none of us saw Ghostbusters. Y'all know, don't make me tell it. Y'all know that little goo stuff. It spread based on what? Our attention. Our fear around it, yes? So when we're planting seeds of fear, what we get are the fearful circumstances. And the ego, be careful with this, because the ego loves to be right. And it will have an opportunity to stand and say, see, I told you. That's exactly why I was focused on this. Because look what happened. Your work is to understand that you've just proven universal law. What I give my attention to increases and expands. Yeah. So you are a holy vessel, a one-of-a-kind creation. And the more you love yourself, because what does the world need now? Love. If you're not loving you, you're not loving. I mean, no offense. I know you done told some people you love them, but you don't know how.
Yeah. Tell the truth. Yeah.
I mean, you meant well, but if you're not loving you, what you doing with them? You're probably doing with them what you do to you.
Right.
Cut it out. The more you love yourself, the more energy you will have to offer our planet. That's why that's what the world needs, is you loving, because that is a vibration. That's a frequency. It's a healing frequency. It's at the top of Hawkins' scale. That vibration of love heals even if you don't know how to heal. Even if you don't know what's wrong. You don't have to have the analysis and see yourself as the solution. What you are to bring to the potluck of life is love.
Oh, yes.
And you know what happens at the potluck. Who brought the love? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You're not willing to just have anybody's preparation of who brought this love. Yes? Come on, I know this is my tribe. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. I see you trying to act like I don't know what you're talking about. But if everybody is bringing love. Let's begin to imagine that. You see what I'm saying? Begin to imagine that what we each bring to the potluck of life is love. Our own, somebody fried the love. Somebody baked the love. Somebody sauteed it. Somebody fricasseed the love. Somebody said, no, we're going to have raw love up in here. So they brought the raw love because there's got to be some raw presence. You understand what I'm saying? But what do we end up with? Is we end up with love. And for the one who forgot the love, there's enough love for everybody. You may think you've been denied opportunities or squandered chances. See, these are the weeds, if that's what you're thinking about.
Right.
Because what? You're a holy vessel, a one-of-a-kind creation. So if you're thinking about what you've done in the past and how that disqualifies you for a powerful, divine present experience, then you're out of order. You're over there messing with the weeds rather than tending to the seeds. Come on now. But in this present moment, your breath is holy. Watch what you do with it. Your thoughts are divine. Watch how you use them and apply them. And streams of creative energy await your cue. Don't waste it. I think most of what we're up to as humans at this time is the evidence of our waste. Ecologically speaking, in a physical sense, but also in the spiritual, universally divine sense as well. Wasting. Not being attentive to what really matters. Treasuring what matters. Still, you may believe you're not enough. A weed. If you are, and you are, a holy vessel, a one-of-a-kind creation, but all you can think about is how you're not enough or how you don't have. Not everything it takes, but just something that it takes in order to manifest in the particular endeavor that has your attention as a desire for you at the present moment. So if that can you see how the distinction is to begin watching your thoughts?
Yes.
I'm using Ernest Holmes' work as a practice. For us to begin this practice of looking and seeing, what is that thought? Is that a helpful thought? If not, say thank you very much. I'm going to loose you. I'm going to release you. And we have to do whatever it is we do with our thoughts, but you first must recognize them. You can't change anything you're not aware of, but that's why I invite you every week to be with us on Sunday and Wednesday and when we have classes and all of our events, including the gratitude party, by the way, are intended to center us in our most powerful and positive awareness so that we can tend to the seeds that bring the kind of harvest that we intend.
Right.
And the only way we can, or one of the ways that we can do that, is to be aware.
Yeah.
Tune your consciousness. So you kind of get a like, oh, wait, hold up. What's that thought? I'm not thinking that. Or however you respond. Get thee behind me. Whatever your response is, you must make the decision to not engage and explore the weed. It's a weed. Just let it be a weed. You don't have to know where it came from.
Right.
How'd the weed get here? Right. Why this kind of weed? Why not? There are some practices in which that's essential. This ain't that.
Right.
This is like, ooh, that's a weed.
Right.
Where the seeds at? And focus on the seeds. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, because y'all know there's a scripture that tells you just let the weed do whatever, and then we work that out in the end. Because can you see the distraction about your attention on the weed does what? What did I tell you the universal law was? Don't get fooled.
Right.
Oh, but there's weeds right here in the midst. Yeah, but what you got around that? Let's work on that. Yes? I'm just saying. These conventional and habitual beliefs keep you separate from your true nature and what? Your genius. Some of y'all hadn't even thought of yourself as having genius. We all do.
Amen.
The opportunity is to tap into our genius, to know that it's there, and then to allow it to flourish. Our true nature, our genius, our power, and love that we have to give. That's why self-love is the ultimate spiritual practice. You know, Jay said he sits for 2 hours daily. To me, that's a function, a representation of self-love. It's not that there aren't other things that could be done. That time could be filled otherwise, like we fill it. But to have a regular, consistent practice that protects and, what's the word I want, multiplies the seeds.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of infuses the seeds, is a function, a representation, evidence of self-love. I care enough about God in and as me, Spirit by any name, the living one, the strong one, by any name. It still is the same nature. Yes?
Yeah.
Let's go, Pam. In effective prayer, Ernest Holmes offers that love overcomes both hate and fear. However, it doesn't do that from arguing,
Right.
from controversy. It's not the one with the biggest stick. And sometimes we want to beat people up in that way.
Yes.
You know, I love you, so I'm going to make you change. I'm going to make you hear me.
Mm-hmm.
It's invisible in its essence, but apparent through its act. This is why we want to begin to make this distinction between what are our seeds and what are our weeds. Because the actions are going to be different. Does it work if I use that metaphor with you that Jay offered us?
Yes.
The seeds and the weeds?
Yes.
I think that's useful for us. Here's the bottom line. Love is the victor in every case.
Yes.
And if that's not your experience, it ain't over yet. That's how you know. If you're like, well, Rev, I've been loving on this and it's not, that's because it ain't over yet. You don't have a victor yet. If you give up now, you're giving up. And that's what's happening.
Right.
But if you stay the course,
Yes.
believing that love is the victor in every case, guess what? It is done unto us. What?
As we believe.
As we believe. As I am believing, love is the victor in this.
Yes.
Y'all know when we launched 2020, here's what we say in 2020. In 2020.
Now.
And an aspect of that is love is the victor.
Yes.
So see, I'm inviting us to bring something different. In a political year, in an election year is what I mean to say. In an election year, it is easy to end up engaged in conversations that you swore you were not going to have.
Yep. Right. Yep. Right.
So begin practicing now. Love is the victor.
Yes.
Love is the victor.
Yes.
That begins to be the mantra. Why? Because 2020 and 2020, we're seeing an outcome that is at the highest possible frequency
Yes.
for humanity at this present stage.
Yes.
It's up to us.
Yes.
Love breaks down the iron bars of thoughts, shatters the walls of material belief, severs the chain of bondage which thought has imposed, and sets the captive free. Who's in? Yeah?
Yes.
I mean, that's like an infomercial, right? Yeah, it's going to do all that. But you won't know till you get in on it. And that's the thing. So often, we're kind of full of ourselves. To the extent that we like, that ain't going to work. I'm going to need to keep my stick handy. I'm going to need to keep my sharp tongue handy. You know, I'm gonna need a defense. I'm gonna need an offensive mechanism when it don't work. When love fails me, I'm gonna be ready with the big stick, the sharp tongue, whatever else I used to use. In a Howard Thurman kind of way, where he says, talking about letting go of giving as good as you get. Mm. You know, it's that attitude of this happened, and so I'm going to do that. What if we let that go? What if we trust love? What if?
Right.
I'm just posing the question for anybody who's willing to play full out.
All right.
Hypothetically, what if? Yeah. What if you love enough so that you could really report this time next year, December of 2020, will be when we stand and give testimony.
Come on. Yeah. Come on now. Yeah.
And if you love from January 1st to January 15th, you'll get a little time on mine. I'll share about how that was for those 2 weeks. But we really want to hear from the folks who got to experience the harvest. From loving through when they didn't believe that love would even be sufficient. Mm-hmm. When they question, they're like, I don't know that love's going to be enough for this. I'm probably going to have to sue.
Yeah.
Might have to litigate this. But let me just try love first. Let me just see if love can be the transformation before you write the scathing email. Let me just see if I put some love on this.
Come on.
What could happen? Because most of us have not tried it. Not sufficiently to give testimony. Here's how I loved through the thing that I thought would take me down, if not out. This is our infomercial. Love is the victor in every case. In every case. I want to take us back to something Revelo offered us, Pam, a few weeks ago about expectancy. First, let me just say, even while that's up, that today, for a daily read from Iyanla, she offers us that we have all the time we need.
Yes.
That's right.
That the question is, what you gonna do with it? Mm-hmm. So just consider that you may not be thinking in your life that you have all the time you need. But time is just a social construct. You know, it ain't real.
Come on.
So how would you know? Yeah. So what if you just began affirming, I have all of the time I need.
Yes.
What my work is to discern what am I going to do with the time I think I have.
Yes.
Again, it's a social construct. It is not real.
Yeah.
So you're just going to make up what the time is around it. Yes? We clear about that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Revelo a couple of weeks ago offered us that we should work not with anxiety, not with our fear and our concern about the thing, but with expectancy. And now you act like he didn't already tell you how to do this, though, right? Right, y'all had a way. Don't be acting like I don't know. Come on now. We should work not with anxiety, but with
Expectancy.
We should then leave everything to the law,
Expecting.
a full and complete proof of our faith.
Yeah.
We must
Expect.
to find in ourselves, therefore, the same inherent attributes that we find in the universe from which we sprang.
Expect.
That everything is to come your way. Come on now. Right today, we can
Expect.
to demonstrate or to have our prayer answered according to our belief in the embodiment of that belief. Yes? All righty then. So here's the thing. There is, back me up to because we fail to realize that principle is not bound by precedent. and then flip those two for me. Because we fail to realize that principle is not bound by precedent, and we know what that means. That means that don't try to enter in as evidence that thing that happened to you, because principle is bigger than that thing. And so you don't get to try to set the rest of your life out of that fear and doubt and reticence is the word I wanted. Your sense of, because of that, you are drawing back your profound energy and love. You're willing to play small and live small. He says we limit our faith to that which has already been accomplished, and few miracles result. See, that's the game. The game we're playing is what else can happen? What's the highest and best that can happen? Now, to the uninitiated, it will look like a miracle. Yeah. And they'll be, oh, it's a miracle. To the initiated, they'll be like, yeah, look at the whole track. Right. This is the harvest born out of the seeds we planted. But you don't have to shame folks about it. They just don't know no better. It's a miracle that you're well now. And the prognosis indicated that you wouldn't be. But what you understand is all that was somebody's idea. And what you're presenting and operating from and showing up for in this situation is with a larger idea. The idea that is based on principle that gives us another offering around it, yes? So this notion that of expectancy, I am linking with miracle in this moment. But I'm wanting you to know that we just calling it miracle because y'all like to call them miracles. But what it really is the sequence, the divine sequence of good. That when we plant the seed so solidly that nothing can get it up, we then get to have that. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. I know you do. Somebody has the how I got over story. Somebody is already living beyond what science said was possible for that someone. Someone's already living in the place where they said that wouldn't be possible. Somebody is already transforming their lives in ways that nobody thought could ever happen. We're not listening to the nobodies no more. We are expecting a miracle. Come on, Taylor.
The sky is the limit. Heart and Soul Ensemble. Thomas Hughes on keyboards, Jay Stein on bass, and Don Hoover on drums. Otto Hoover on drums. And Rev Andriette on the truth. Thank you for reminding us that an occupied mind creates what it is occupied with. So let's occupy our minds with and hearts with love, y'all.
I got this.
Yes, you do.
So, look, this is the time when we ask you to give generously, it's our gracious giving time. And the very notion of gracious giving, it's giving from a broader, deeper knowing. And what I'm also adding here, in the end of not November, but the end of October, we had our annual meeting. And at our annual membership meeting, we introduced our 2020 pledge. And the members who were present gave us some feedback on the form. And so we have prepared it in a way to support you. I'm going to ask Damali to come up, because even those initial pledge sheets that folks have already given, and the pledge period is 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
That's what we're asking folks to focus on. And here's what's going on. Heart and Soul, as you know, has completed 10 years of service.
Yes.
And we're, thank you. It's about all of us. It's not like one or two of us. We've all made this so. The next level of the journey, our 2020 focus is for a permanent home. We are having a good time right here. We are renting this space. We've been here since 2011, and we are blessed to be here. The owner of this building wants to repurpose it. He's not ready to do it, so we're not talking about, gather your stuff up now. But we do know that that is coming. He has much that he must do first in order to have that happen, and there's much that we must do in order to be in a position for whatever is next for us.
Right, yeah.
So we are beginning to dot the I's, cross the T's, also known as plant the seeds.
Yes.
For the outcome that we want. And the outcome, our highest vision for Heart and Soul, is that we have a place that we own.
Yeah.
And it may be that there's a step in between.
Right.
But our vision is that we move towards a place that we own. In order to do that, we must be able to show a lender. Because it would, as far as we know. You never know, but I could be mistaken. We're thinking we may need a lender, but maybe not. If we do require a lender, the lender is asking for not just how much money you have in the bank, how much money you have available, but what is the guaranteed? What are the pledges? Because they know how church works.
Yes.
How many people are so invested and committed to what you're doing that they're willing to say, I'm in?
Yes.
How many of those do you have? And how much are they willing to? Because that's how they're going to look at our projected income.
Yes.
Thus, translating that into our ability to pay, unless, of course, we don't need a loan. I'm just saying, it's possible. I don't want to miss that possibility.
There you go.
And I mean, from the membership gathering, we've raised $200,000 in pledges already. And so we thought to ourselves, we gotta keep asking and we gotta keep saying, we can't do this without you.
Yes.
Because we're in this together. We've been in this together for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so we have many more.
Yes.
Yeah. And we want to make sure that that happens and the building comes to fruition and we're here for generations to come.
There you go.
And it's not just the building. So we cannot put all the money into the building and not have any programs and do everything we do. So it's a both and.
Yes.
We must have the kind of design where we are doing what we do daily, the programmatic pieces, but also the piece that covers the larger. So that's why we're looking for 2.1 million gathered in gifts and pledges for pledged or in gifts over the next 3 to 5 years. And a part of, so it works out to be really 1.5 million towards the new home.
Right.
And then 600,000 for our annual budget, our annual operating budget. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
And what we talked about at the membership meeting that I think is so important is that if you are currently giving to Heart and Soul, let's say you're giving $1,000 a year. What we're asking is for you to up that a little bit, but just commit over 3 to 5 years, because when you run those numbers, you get this exponential growth. You get the sense that we're up to something big when we can see it over 3 to 5 years. So the ask is to continue to give and consider giving just a little bit more, but let us know what you're planning to give.
So in your example, if someone's now giving $1,000 annually,
Yes.
and that would be if they were pledging for 3 years, that would be 3,000. If they could see they're very clear to make that 1,100, that would then be 3,300 for that
Exactly.
3-year pledge.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And so I return it to Ron now. What we're
And the
doing
pledge
is,
forms are going around.
they're
right
going
now.
around, but Damali will be out front. So if you have any questions
Yes.
about it, you can, Damali is a board member, she has this as her portfolio, so you can certainly turn in your completed sheet to her, or you can put it in the basket, you can bring it back, and we'll have places available where you can place it. But we're counting on you to do it as soon as you possibly can. Think about it and discuss it with whoever else needs to be a part of the decision. From my heart to yours, please do what you can to support Heart and Soul we're legacy building at this point. We want a place I have a vision that those folks who are in our youth and family village right now, that they will, my vision right now is looking for the time that they're the ones. And that we've provided a place for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Andriette. Thank you, Damali. So as Rev said, when she first came up, this is our time for gracious giving. And once again, it's important that we give from a place of gratitude of having something to give, and that we set an intention for giving gratefully and graciously of both our time, our talent, and our treasure. And there are many ways to give. You can actually, just to add more in terms of giving, I know I give because I love Heart and Soul and what we're doing in the world. I continue to give because I want to see more of it, and I'm willing to give more because I want us to have a church home. And so I'm inviting you to join me in giving and giving more. And we have ways to give. On the back of your seat chair, there's an envelope for a one-time or setting up a recurring gift. You can also text to give at 510-500-5849. Or you can give on our website. There are many give buttons on give button on every page. And you can also give at the link here below. And for those of us who are committed givers, there's also a reminder, also in the back of your seat, are our blessing bucks. So this is an opportunity for those who are giving via electronically or other means on a recurring basis that we can put this in the basket as well. And so recognizing that we have everything that is required for our giving, I invite you to hold your gift in a way that is sacred to you. It can be in an attitude of prayer or just clasped in your hand over your heart as we pray our church prayer together. There is one
Eternal life, God. One creative cause, God. One all-pervasive love, God. One infinite source of prosperity and abundance, God. God and I are one. I am a child of God. created out of the same I am presence that is the source of my supply. I am therefore endowed with unlimited creative ability to call forth my good and the good of heart and soul center of light, now and in the form of money. I joyously proclaim the divine nature of money. Money is a natural consolidation of the loving, living energy of God flowing through this world. Money is God's tangible form of prosperity and abundance. Money is never stagnant. It flows freely, forever circulating in divine order. I welcome and celebrate the free flow of money into and through the large and small places in my life. I stand as a natural channel for money, lovingly directing how I spend and share it. Through expanded faith, I now generously share money with Heart and Soul Center of Light. I know my gifts breathe life into Heart and Soul Ministries and into the reality of our new church home. The money I give comes back to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is ample evidence of God's graceful activity in my life. I give thanks for knowing that lavish, unfailing abundance is a natural law of the universe. I give thanks for this opportunity to participate in the divine flow of God's love. I know that God is, I am, and all is exceedingly well. And so it is.
Thanks, Pam. I'm going to run us through our announcements. First and foremost, we know that prayer works. The slide will be up there shortly. Please do not leave here today with anything that is heavy on your heart or something that you would like to celebrate. Prayer is available in the Upesi and Tambuzi space, which is right outside the door of the sanctuary and to the right. You can also leave your prayer requests in written forms. There are forms right outside the room along with pens. And we also invite you to join us in a daily prayer of gratitude. We set noon as the time, but it doesn't matter. Any time is an opportunity to say thank you, and thank you is more than enough of a prayer. And I can get this back on. And Imagining Justice, join us Wednesday night, open mic night, and gratitude. And Saturday, the community engagement, distribution of hygiene packs to the unhoused as well. Thank you, Valerie Joy, for calling that out. Rev is going to come up and talk to us more about Dr. Will's visit.
Right. What I wanted to make sure that everyone understood is that next Sunday I'm speaking here, which is the 22nd. That will be our holiday service, if you will. On the 29th, Dr. Will be with us, and that will be our Kwanzaa celebration. We'll have one service that begins, meditation begins at 10, service begins at 10:15. Yes? Yes. For the one service. On Tuesday, we have our New Year's Eve service, begins at 10 p.m. And Dr. Will and I will be facilitating that, hosting that. Then on Wednesday during the day, that's New Year's Day from 1 to 3, a 2-hour session with Dr. Will. He's calling it a New Year's Day convocation. and it's $20, and we'll take up a love offering during the event. Here's the thing that I wanted you to know. Those are the options. So you can play the game kind of a la carte. Or if you really want to go for what he's considering the full initiation, you would need to sign up, and that would mean that you'd be participating on the Sunday, the 29th, but he will also have some online sessions while he's here. So the online sessions would be on that Monday, the Tuesday, and then Wednesday is when it all culminates. And the Wednesday experience will be a bit different for the people. There'll be an additional piece for the Wednesday for the folks who sign up for the full initiation experience. So that experience will be $100. By next week, I'll have more information and a link for how you can sign up, etc. Yes, but it gives you something to think of. And in the recap, I may have it together in time for the recap where you'll have the link there. But I wanted you to know how it will unfold. On the 29th, we'll have our Kwanzaa service, that one service at 10 a.m., and then New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day. And for the folks who want to play with him at another level, then you'll want to sign up. So you'll have all of the online links so that you can participate in those sessions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Rev. And for those of you who have not experienced Dr. Will, sign up. For those of you who have experienced Dr. Will, sign up. We're asking, so we have, what's your vision for Heart and Soul Center of Light? Please stop by our vision tree, which is out in the fellowship hall. There's a little tree there, and there are heart-shaped tags where you can write your vision for heart and soul and place it on the tree. We're also, as part of our 10th anniversary recognition, asking you for your support in us having name tags, dedication plates on the back of our chairs, and I know that we're at, that number is very low in terms of the number needed. 40, less than 40 are available, $50 for the first, $25 for each additional. You can also, this is an opportunity for you to get your Heart and Soul 10th anniversary t-shirts. You can contact Deb Kersey for that. We have both women, unisex sizes, crew, v-neck, $20 for adults, $15 for children. And if you see folks wearing them around church, they are amazing. We invite you to visit the Heart and Soul gift shop. It's an opportunity to pick up the current edition of the Science of Mind magazine. You can check out Rev's art column there, and there are numerous articles and vehicles for transforming your life in the magazine. And it's also an opportunity to support our local artisans, and also we invite you to continue to support Marcus Books, the oldest African-American bookstore that is still in operation. And Visit Heart Central is an opportunity to sign up for a service recap. Our Lost and Found is there, so if you are missing something that you believe was lost here or left here at Heart and Soul, it is actively awaiting for you to come and get it. After 30 days, any found items will be donated. We continue to honor our community agreements. Yes? Yes. Thank you. And next Sunday, our musical inspiration is Heart Song. And here's Rev Andriette.
I appreciate y'all. I was talking to Sonia with ideas and what we needed to do next, because I've been gone for a while. She said, you need to remember that you were the only one who was away. The rest of us were not on vacation. So I'm trying to pace myself, but there's so much for us, I feel, in preparation for 2020. And what I feel that I'm doing now is kind of greasing the skids, as it were, laying the groundwork for the essential work that we will do in 2020 of setting our personal practice so that we feel our own investment in calling forth what the world calls miracles. And what we know is the natural order of righteousness. Yes? So, I'm glad to be home. And I love you. And this is all so good. I feel refreshed and, thank you, Father, Mother, God.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to also be in prayer for our beloved Revelo, his aunt, who is his mother's twin sister. Just passed. She was 99, and she was a founding member of Heart and Soul. And so we're just holding the family in love and peace and light. We're actively surrounding them, knowing that right where they are, the whole perfect and complete nature of God is. We're also extending that to Lynn Smith, who is another founding member. She was on our board for a good while and then moved to Atlanta. She unfortunately was assaulted and so is in the hospital and is recovering nicely. And so we're knowing the truth. We're always called. It doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen. What it means is we put the stuff on the prayer list. And that we must continue to know, even in our doubt, even in our fear, even in our despair, that we know the truth. Yes? Yes. I love you so very, very much. Love matters? Y'all work that